Hello, all. I hope you can hear the voice, and I hope the volume is enough. So the idea of these streams is basically it's not possible to have these kind of sessions everywhere. And I know you have a lot of questions as a youth. I had a lot of questions, and there are very few avenues where you can get the answers. So I think to reach the maximum people, this is the best platform. And since it's a live thing, so you can also uh, comment your questions, and basically I'll be answering to that. So yes, the idea is basically to answer your queries, because youth is, as you know, that it's a limited time period, and you have to take some decisions regarding career, etc., and all. So it's a very important time period, and you should make the most of it. And I think if the right clarity is there at the time when you are pursuing all these things, so it is very, very important. So that is why. So let us hear some questions. Otherwise, I have also I can go about discussing the basics of career counseling. But I think we can start with having some questions, and these streams will be fairly regular whenever I get time. And so it's not a one-off thing, and we will do these kind of streams more often. So let's in the chat, we have some people watching. Let's hear. Let's see the questions. No questions yet. So let's just start with the basics of career counseling. Like, what is a career? Let us define that. So that is also very, very important to answer this question, because most of the people get confused between job and career. And this clarity is also required. What exactly is career? So career and job, not exactly the same. Job can be a temporary thing. It's a phase, you can say, and you can have different jobs in the same career. And career is a, basically you can say, the overall theme of what you choose to do. For example, I have chosen public service, public administration as the basically career. And there can be various jobs, jobs as in there can be many things which you can do in public administration. So for me, first it started with teaching, and then I joined ITBP, then I joined IR, Indian Revenue Service, and then finally into Indian Administrative Service. So you can say the jobs can change and have changed, but basically career has been public administration. So that kind of clarity should be there. Now, what career you choose, decide to do, is basically what it should be, what you really love to do. Because think of it like this, that if you don't like something, and if you get a job in that particular domain, then basically you have to do something which you don't like for the rest of your life. So that will be pretty bad, right? I mean, because basically professional life means that most of the time will be spent in that particular thing, right? Yes, we talk of all kinds of things, work life balance, and not giving much for the professional side and all that, but eventually it takes a lot of your work. Because even if you spend like 10 hours a day in your profession, so that's a significant amount of time. And more or less 50-60% of your life, your life chances, your time, entire thing will be determined by that. So it becomes very, very important. This choice of career becomes very, very important. And the sooner we realize this, it's better. So generally, this college time, higher secondary time, this is the best time to introspect and to figure out what you want to do. Because of course later also we can do it, and in many cases unfortunately because of our education system we realize late, and I am also a part of that system. And only when I joined my first job, that was in consulting, that I started thinking what I really want to do, and I did something about it. So, but having said that, given a choice, I would always go back and study something else which really made sense, rather than engineering. But now, of course, we cannot do that. So that is why this kind of thought process should be at school level, college level, so that you have enough time if there are any tweaks required, so there are enough time. So that is why I constantly engage also with youth, and in these kind of career workshops. It's very, very important. And so that's exactly what I meant, that this choice of career, which will be a long term theme of your professional life, has to be determined at a early point of time. And that is why you should all start thinking about it. So that is basically the difference between a job and a career. I hope that is clear. We have viewers, but then we have not received any questions till now. I encourage youth who are watching, please type in your questions as comments, and I'll try to basically the stream I would like to be about your questions and answering your questions. Because of course I can go on speaking, but basically I have done this before also, and if you go to my channel, there are detailed videos on career counseling, on all the topics already covered mostly. So these streams I wanted to basically address the questions only. So let us see if we have any questions, or we will just move on to the next slide. So basically, if you see here, we are defining career as the broad domain field which you choose to work in. As I said, job professions are specifics at that particular of time, and it can change basically. Now a very important point is that what career should be and who should make the choice. So this is also a very important question, and I have seen many a times that unfortunately the youth, the person whose career is being talked about, he has the least things to say, and it is being determined by other factors. So one of the factors is obviously the influence of the parents, or the dream of the parents. While I was preparing in Delhi, I met many people who basically were who came to Delhi to give the civil service exam, and basically they never wanted, or they were not very much interested in that particular thing, but their parents wanted them to become IAS, IPS, IRS, civil servants basically. So that was the push for them. They were sent basically. And with UPSC particularly, we have to basically if you're not interested, then it becomes very, very difficult, because that kind of determination, passion is required. So and the same thing I witnessed in Kota also, where I went for this IIT preparation for a year. So many were actually not interested. They were interested in something else, or they were not even aware of which is the general scenario for a school going kid in India. So they were not even aware what they wanted to do, and they were sent. And then there is immense pressure of this that you are going at a place to prepare, for example, going to Kota, and all those things. It's very, very challenging, and the pressure comes when everyone knows that you are going to Kota to prepare for IIT, when you're going to Delhi to prepare for IIS. So there's a lot of societal pressure also, peer pressure also, and those who are not interested, I mean, it's like a disaster. So that is very, very, that choice should be made by you. So now basically we have some questions. So let us answer some questions. Um, Jyotishman here says, I always wanted to be a teacher. I like physics and is currently teaching high school students after my graduation. Can you give any advice on how to become a good teacher? Oh, it's a very good question. And in fact, while I was preparing in New Delhi, I was also teaching, and I had decided that if this doesn't work out, the whole IS thing, I will perhaps go into teaching. I love teaching. I think as a teacher, you touch upon so many lives, and these youths, basically, you are nurturing the future generations. So it's a big responsibility with the teachers, and how to become a good teacher. I would say that you have to go beyond the books. It is not just the books which you need to, I mean, the knowledge you have to transfer, but there is a process to it. I mean, it is not that simple. You have to see, first of all, every child is different, so you have to deal with every child in a different way. Sorry, student in a different way. They might be at different levels, so the same kind of approach will not work with all the students. So that's one thing I want to share from my experience. I mean, it has to be a different approach. Of course, like one general thing has to be there, and then you have to deal with the students as per their requirement. And as a teacher, it is also the responsibility to go beyond the syllabus. See, ultimately, what should be the aim of education? Education, basically, we should aim to nurture these students, these youth, into good human beings. That should be the basic objective of basically education. So if you want to be a good teacher, basically, if we can add value, if we can show them good examples, if we can teach them virtue, along with basically what's there academically, it's there. But in other aspects also, I think if we can make a difference, then I would consider it's a good job. So be a good human being, and teach your students to be good human beings. I think that would make you a good teacher. So I hope I have answered your question, Jyotishman. And now let's take another question from Active Voice. What is the eligibility criteria for PMEGP loan? So yes, PMEGP basically is a great platform for those who are young, and those who have creative business ideas. And basically, this is a subsidy you will get from the government, and you can avail loan in any kind of a business idea, or be it service or manufacturing. There are different kind of this thing. So there is a project proposal you have to give, and then basically, for more information, I would say you can go to the district DCIC office, and there are proper officers are there who are to whose work is to help you out in this filling out of this application, making of project proposal. You can also take the help of the respective line departments in basically in creating your proposal. So criteria, basically, you need to have a business idea, and there are some documents which will be required. So these are the criteria. I mean, there's no such hard and fast thing. But for more information, I would really suggest that a simple Google search will help. But go to the DCIC office, since they are dedicated officers, they will help you out. So I hope, Active Voice, I have answered your question. Then okay, so let's take another question. It is from Silka Mary Marak. What is the best choice after BCom? Currently, I'm in third BCom. So you're into commerce, and basically, I hope you have taken a conscious decision to go into commerce, and you are not like the basically forced decision is not there where everyone was taking commerce in your this thing and you went for commerce. So I hope that is not the case. If you are really interested in commerce, then I would suggest to do masters before you take any further call, if you are really into the thing. And then if you are also interested in chartered accounting, so please see what is the role of a CA. And it's very very of course there are a lot of exams you have to give, but there's a lot of demand. And these days, in India, these startups are booming, many new companies are coming up, and every new company will need a CA, CS, the company secretary, and all those things, because this commerce aspect will be there and people would like to formalize it. So there will be a lot of demand in this profession. So basically, see, commerce, of course, you can go to CA side, you can go do a company secretariat, basically that course. Also, you can work with companies, and also if you are academically inclined, you can also go into the teaching line. So I hope you are basically well into this subject. And if you are more interested in economics and statistics part, then I can also recommend that there is an Indian Economic Service, an Indian Statistical Service, for which UPSC does a separate this thing exam. So I hope I have answered your questions. So since there are a lot of questions coming, so I'll be a little fast. And now let's see the next question from Judah Wayne Momin. Why people are pursuing job like LDA police, even if they have done the course like engineering? Why this happens, especially in Northeast? So basically, Mr. Judah, the basically what's happening is, one thing is that these kind of awareness is not there, and that career can be made in anything, and you can do so many things. I mean, literally anything you can do, right? I mean, basically, even if let me give you some weird job descriptions. So these days, though, they have become common, but when we were studying in college and all that, these the travel vloggers, and it was just started food vloggers. So there are people who have a lot of following, who are influencers in on social media, and they have basically called they are basically called by various restaurants to review their food, and they are paid to eat and post their reviews. I mean, yeah, wouldn't it be great? And then now this travel bloggers are also there, who are having a good following, who are having good number of subscribers on YouTube. So they are also called by these resorts and stuff and others, to review their resort. They are also called by certain places who want to promote their district, etc., etc. So now, see, we are also in the middle of promoting our East Garo Hills, because tourism, not much has happened in the last several decades. So now it's a good time. Everything is in place. Things are taking shape. We are developing slowly. So now, and there are so many unexplored gems in the district, and I am surprised that there are many waterfalls. And of course, accessibility is a issue, tourist laws and etc. are a issue, stay is a issue, but we are sorting it out. So slowly we are opening it up. So we are trying to promote it. So we are calling these to basically tourist bloggers, tourism bloggers also to our district. So these are also professions, right? So people are not aware of the variety. I mean, literally you can do anything today, and this kind of knowledge is not there, because these kind of talks are not still they are not common, I would say. Of course, now over the internet, these career counseling and everything is available, and literally you can make use of anything. But in our time, I remember there was hardly anything. If I wanted to know any details. It was very, very difficult. I mean, internet access was so difficult. We had to go to a cafe, internet cafe, and it was not very easy to get access. So I remember in my class 11th, 12th, all I knew that career can only be made, either I become an engineer or I become a doctor. So how limited the basically the view was. I mean, it was shocking. And now when I look back, it is very difficult to believe that these were the two options that were visible to us. And even the friends and everyone at school was also not aware of many other options. So it is very strange. And so the same thing is happening in Northeast. I mean, we are not aware, our youth are not aware of these options. Even if they are aware, they are not having the proper counseling and confidence, and the resources and the proper guidance to take up all these things. And another thing is that entrepreneurship. So why, I mean, if there is an engineer, he can definitely have a startup and create products of his own and start a company of his own, right? But there is a lack of capital in the Northeast, and the lack of awareness on schemes like PMEGP. I was just talking about PMEGP and the how to apply for it and stuff. So these awareness is not required, and we need to really, our youth needs to understand that see how many government jobs are there. So if you see, once in a while you can get 3-4 openings, but there are lakhs of youth out there. So only couple of very handful of people will get that. And that's essentially not the thing. You can really do great in any profession you choose, in any field you want to do. You can take up and make an initiative. And let's say you are interested in tourism. So now, as you say, like as you see, Garo Hills is also not very readily available. So if something wants to something if someone wants to visit Garo Hills, there is no particular agency which will provide all the solutions, right, from pickup from airport to stay to view, going to places and stuff. So if you are interested, why not open a tourism company and do that, tie up with people in Guwahati and bring tourists and stuff like that. So you can literally do anything. I hope that answers your question. We will move to the next question, as time is, we'll keep the stream to 1 hour this time, but next time we can have more if there are more people coming. So this is just like a test to see whether it is fruitful, and if you people like, and if there are viewers, then we will do these kind of things regularly. So taking on the next question from Janarius. I will be graduate after some months, so I am planning to write MCS. How shall I prepare for it, and where shall I apply for it? So if you that means you're not following the channel, please follow the channel. I have done a MCS overview, and I have given everything about the exam. In fact, I have also solved the last prelims paper 1, which is over 10 episodes, and I'll be basically discussing all the other papers also once whenever I get time, essay, etc., etc. So basically, for applying and all that, of course, you have to just keep a watch on the MPSC website. And for preparing, just get hold of the syllabus, last year's question. That also I have uploaded on my blog, which is geniespeaks.blogspot.com. All the previous questions are available, of course, only of the last year. And I hope that helps, and keep following the channel and watching the videos for preparation. So I hope I have answered your question. Okay. Then a follow-up question by Judah. Many people, they did their higher studies, qualified, but they didn't get job related to this. Why this happened to people? I think the job is limited. Now, see, you have to change the perspective of looking into all these things. Jobs will always be limited, because the of course departments are limited and stuff is limited, but there is no limit on the career opportunities which can be created. So that is why this entrepreneurship and startups are very, very important, because for example, I'll take the example which I've given already. So if somebody is interested in tourism and you have started a tourism company, So you will need so many people, right? From let's say you will have a vehicle to pick tourist up from to Guwahati airport to, let's say, William Nagar. So you will need a driver, you will need a tourist guide, then you will basically need for homestays. So people will have to prepare homestays there. Somebody will be preparing food, somebody will be taking them around, somebody will be preparing the collectibles or gift items which will be. So once you start this kind of thing, so many jobs are created. So that is why this entrepreneurship and local businesses we have to promote, because the existing job, the government jobs are very very less, and unfortunately, or we don't have an industry or a service industry here. So we have to develop in whatever we are interested in, and the scope is immense. If you want to, for example, we have so much of raw food material. For example, jackfruit. Now jackfruit, the demand is so high outside that people are exporting, other states are exporting to Dubai and so many other countries, right? But here, if you go to any village, particularly if you go to any village in Garo Hills, what you will see, jackfruits are on the tree. They will very nice jackfruits, everything, they will fall there only. I mean, of course, some will be taken and eaten, but like mostly you will see will go to waste. So why is that happening? Why is somebody not taking up basically aggregator role, where you collect the all the jackfruits from let's say East Caro Hills, and then you tie up with somebody who is there in other states exporting. So recently we also called these people, and they have seen our jackfruit, and they are very happy with the quality. And of course, I mean, some kind of grading we have to do here, and then we can really start exporting this jackfruit. And there are so many other things. I mean, banana is there, pineapple is there, so many opportunities are there. And all the youth watching, please, whatever interests you, you can take up the initiative and make a business out of your interest. So let's move on to the next question. How can I prepare for GMAT exam? So Anjali is asking about GMAT exam. So it's a pretty standard exam, and there is nothing much to really discuss. I would suggest that most of the exams which are there, competitive exams, which are not very dynamic in nature and which are objective type basically. So the pattern does not change much. So if you are able to just go and see the last 10 years paper, you will really understand it nicely, what kind of questions. And it's basically a juxtaposition of questions, say same questions here and there, they're repeating. And so the basically theme is always the same, numbers will keep on changing. So a paper like GMAT, I would really suggest get any standard book, all of them are like almost the same, and solve the last 10 years questions, and that should be helping you. So now Jyotishman is asking, do you believe science should be taught in school in one's mother tongue, at least until till class 12? Do you think studying in his own mother tongue gives the student an easy understanding of the hard concept? Okay, so Jyotishman has asked about mother tongue. Yes, it's a very very important question, and yeah, whatever works. I mean, if it is a problem in understanding, the concepts can be explained by the teacher in the local language, or whatever language is preferable. That's not an issue. But I totally support, and there should be no hard and fast rule about language. Whatever is comfortable, it should be there. But there is always a but, that if you see professionally, for example, if you see across India or even across the world, if you see, I mean, if you want to excel, your business basically will have to be, you'll be have associations with so many people outside in the country and in outside the country also. So how do you communicate with them? If you travel outside, how do you communicate with them? So language is a very empowering thing. So it's not a bad idea to know a few couple of languages. And in fact, wherever, so my mother tongue is Marathi, but I was born and brought up in MP, so where is essentially Hindi, but our school thing was in English. And when I moved to Assam, I learned Assamese. And Assamese are basically, I was able to learn Assamese, and then here also a little bit now I'm able to speak Garo also, and I'm able to understand completely. So I feel that, this flexibility, we should be flexible about languages, and wherever we go we should adopt and try to learn the language. And yes, it's a good point, if people are having, the students are having difficulty in understanding, so why not explaining. But I would still, at the same time, I would want to encourage students and youth to learn multiple languages. And so it helps you to connect to more people, and it's a very empowering thing. So I hope I have answered your question, Jyotishman. Thank you for your question. Now, next question, Panch Sangma. What is the minimum time required to study per day for? What is the minimum time required? Okay. See, it's I see. I mean, I think it totally depends on where you stand. For example, if you are well read, and and if you have a good foundation for UPSC, then if you have read well in school, then if you are well read on current affairs, then obviously it will take less time, maybe 4 or 5 good hours in a day. But if you have not studied at all during your school, you have chilled, and college is like, college is by default chill. So if you have only chilled, then it becomes difficult, and you will have to put in more effort. So there is no hard and fast that you have to study 15 hours a day for UPSC. It depends where you stand. Initially it's a bit difficult, but it gets basically it easier with time. So yeah, but then it's a long process, and at least a year and a half is required to do the standard. And then incremental preparation is also required. So we have around roughly a viewing of 30 to 40, and yeah, I mean, like 127 views. I would request all of those who are watching and whose questions I have answered, please share this with others also. And if we can get more questions, and I think it will be beneficial for everyone. And I think the more youth we can reach, especially from our East Garo Hills, Meghalaya, Northeast, and anywhere across India and the world, and the more the merrier. But I think we should reach more people, and it should benefit, because I remember my youth when no such thing was there, and I also come from a small place only, where there was no exposure, nothing was there. So proper informed choices on career could not be made at the right point of time. So the whole objective, and in fact my YouTube channel is the initial idea was to do only about this career counseling, because I feel very much for this counseling thing. And I want that every youth, when they are in school, in college, they should be made aware of all these things. So that is, let's reach more people. So please like, subscribe and share. Let's take up the next question, which is by Jakra Studios. Sir, BCA scope. Acha, so BCA is basically Bachelor in Computer Application. And yeah, I mean, see, I mean, everything is going tech these days, and without technology, nothing is basically can be functioning. And if you see in any job requirement, basic computer knowledge is required. That is fine. And also at a higher level, the more the everything is going on the tech side, everything is, there is an app for everything now. Everything comes with an app. There is so much of development requirements. So in spite of so many colleges, I think the demand for the computer engineers, the programmers, the developers, the testers, everything is it's amazing. And it will only I only see it go up from here, because the technology is booming, and everything will get this IT enabled, and the requirement for computer engineers will definitely be more. And yes, I mean, you can follow it up with a diploma in some kind of coding, or you can expertise in some coding language, a development language, and you can boost your CV in that respect. And believe me, graduation is not the end of the world, because unfortunately most of us, when we join, we have no idea, and we just go with the flow, and we just end up doing something. So that's not the end of the world. The good thing is you have started thinking. See, that is what I feel is the turning point, when we start to think what we really want to do in our life, what we really want as a career. So when that happens, that is the turning point. And the idea of these counseling sessions and these interactions with our youth is basically to bring this point, this watershed moment before in your life, so that you have enough time to do something about it. So graduation is not the end of the world, but I think if this comes sooner, it will be better. Now let's move on to the next question by MA10. Abba Rister, can we crack UPSC by just self-studying? Yes, definitely. And I have made a special video on this. Can we, do UPSC without this coaching and any kind of this thing? So definitely you can do that. Many people do it, no doubt about it. And because this is some exam which is very of course vast and comprehensive, but everything is laid out. If you see all the if you syllabus is there, and for every basically topic, there are book list are there. For every optional, there is a book list is there. The videos of toppers, the guidance, the so much of content now is available on YouTube itself. And I have made a 10 episode mini series on how to self prepare for UPSC. It's on my channel, so please go and watch that. So it's totally possible. And because it's an exam where it's just about hard work, and you have to have that interest in knowing things. So that is more than enough. So definitely MA10, you can definitely do it by self preparation. So now next question by Agrim Sangma, RRB or SSC, which is better? See, this kind of question, again, I mean, there is no white or black. It depends on what you want in your life, what you want, whether you want to join RRB or whether you want to do SSC. So it is like, if you watch football right now, which is better team, Manchester City or Liverpool? Unfortunately or fortunately, I'm a Manchester United fan, but still, that these are the top two teams right now, Manchester City and Liverpool. So which is better? I mean, it depends from who you are and which kind of football, which style of football you like to play. So this RRB, SSC, I would suggest that you first introspect yourself, what you really want, and whether these forums and these exams and these opportunities, are they catering to that. So anything can be good. If you like doing that, if that is your thing, anything can be good. So that is why the first question is what you want basically from your career. So now Bingo has asked that the scope of MBA students in Meghalaya. See, MBA, basically your master's in business administration, and everywhere, as I was talking about, things that how lack of jobs and everything, and we need to focus on entrepreneurship opportunities which are there. So, if you are already equipped with the knowledge of MBA, there is nothing like that, right? It will greatly help you and help your business, because you have studied management. So of course it will benefit you. And of course there are no companies and service thing where you can get a standard MBA job, but I feel that's in a way, that give you the whole canvas, and you can just paint it the way you want. And there are so many opportunities to be taken up. It's like a clean slate where nothing has been done. So many opportunities are there, and as an MBA graduate you have the theoretical knowledge of how to run a business. Why don't you combine with some entrepreneurs who have the zeal to create a business and then join hands with them? I think for you that will be the best basically way out for all the business graduates. A follow-up question by Silka Mary. What is the difference between entrepreneurs and startups? So basically, when we refer to entrepreneurs, we are referring to individuals who have ideas, who have business ideas, and who are starting something. Of course, there are the entire team which are there. Now startup is basically, you can say, the initial when a company started, when let's say there are a group of people who have registered a company, and they are having a business idea and they are working on it, and then slowly as they are working on it, they are raising some kind of a funding, and then they are increasing their business, they're increasing their turnover, and slowly becoming a company. Then if it becomes too successful, then they go for IPO and stuff like that. So basically it's just I think a difference in point of reference, where we mention individuals and their initiatives of starting something, we refer to them as entrepreneurs, and when we refer to the group, we refer as startups. Now let's go to the next question by Mr. Nongram. Can you please share the previous question paper about SSC? I think it should be available on their website. Yeah, we'll have to check on that, and I'm sure it's available. For example, UPSC, if you go to UPSC website, all the question papers are available, previous questions, and answer keys are also available. And this is something which we have also started now in our DSC, and all the questions we will try to make available, and all the answer keys also, after the exam is done, it will be made available. And it's something I think I have also written to MPSC, then this should be done in MPSC also. And in all the exams it should be there, so that it helps our youth to prepare. And that is why because there was so much of this confusion about MCS and MCS exam, and what kind of questions will come. So that is why I personally took up a project. I found out the basically from those who have given, I took the paper, I solved it, and then I shared it on my YouTube channel for the benefit of everyone. So this and also I have uploaded all the question papers on my blog also. So this is something which should be there, and as a best practice should be done everywhere. So for SSC, I think it's there on their website. Please go and check. Let's take up the next question. Any diploma course after please suggest any diploma. Torim Ki is asking, please suggest any diploma courses after graduation. So again, I mean, who am I to suggest? Who is anyone else to suggest? What is your interest? What is your field of study, and what you want to learn, and in which field you want to have a career? That should be your call totally, and it should be in line with your long-term career objective. So I'll give you an example again. If somebody has decided to be in public administration, then you should preferably, if you get the opportunity, you should study public administration, you should study sociology, you should study political science. All these things, these subjects will really help you, not just in clearing the exam, and but a better understanding of the subject. For example, I was just discussing that MBA graduates are there. So if they start up a business, they will have they will have the theoretical understanding of how to run businesses, etc. Right? So for example, so same with public administration also. So that is how choosing these diploma courses and all that should basically be as per your career choice, and should be totally done by you and not by anyone else. So now next question. uh, Jingre Marak is asking, can we change the optional subject again, which can we have chosen for MCS before the exam? If you mean in your last attempt, so in every attempt, basically you can change the this thing that many people you see they attempt the exam with different optionals as well, and every time it's not a good idea though, but yes, I mean, for some people it doesn't work out, then in next attempt they take something else. But once you, for that particular attempt, perhaps you cannot change, you just need to check the detailed notification, because every time there is something new. So it's very difficult to pinpoint any thing. So my suggestion is, of course, in the next attempt you can do that I'm sure, but for within the attempt, I think you can check the notification. Now, Nestfield Sangma is asking, what is the scope of sports management degree in Meghalaya? So again, very good that you have done sports management, and hopefully you are interested in sports. And now again, seeing at the availability of jobs. So if you see, we have only 12 districts, and there are district sports officers in these 12 districts, and then there are subordinate coaching staff, and then these trainers. So even if you collectively see in the entire this thing, not more than 50 jobs will be there. But and out of which most of them are already they are already working. So vacancies, how many are there? Very less vacancies will be there. So if you only aim for these kind of government thing, that then you will see that it's very less, no scope is there. Why not start something of your own? This is something which everyone has to look into this, and starting their own ventures has to be the theme. For example, let us take the very unexplored area of chess. Now chess suddenly has in the pandemic, because of some streamers like Samay Raina, Sagar Shah, chess has really taken up in India, and then now everyone is talking about chess, and there are online tournaments, and then it's here and there everywhere. It has the chess culture. It is like has reshaped, and now there are a lot of opportunities. So now if we train our youth at the right time, and now parents are also becoming very interested in all these things, that they want their kids to beyond studies, they also want their kids to do well in extracurricular. So of course, from the maybe perhaps from the institutional side the opportunities are less, but why not open something for chess, like chess training academy, like football training academy. And so all these private institutions have to come up, and there are, as I said, it's a clean slate in everything, and you can initiate having the knowledge of sports management. You will of course do well in running an organization which is based out of the theme of sport. And you can also look into the organization of big events which happen in the state. So that's surely one thing. Once you have started let's say startup on sports, so you can also, apart from doing regular activities, you can also take up this event management when it comes to this sporting events and all that. And why should you just now Mr. Nestfield, your question, you have asking for what is the scope of Meghalaya. So we have to be ready for any kind of opportunity we get elsewhere also. I mean, a national approach has to be there, a global approach has to be there, because even if let's suppose we have all the facilities here, we have very less population, and then if every business the evolution, if you see the evolution of every business, so basically you will need to have consumers. So the only scope of growing is that your basically approach should be to reach more and more people outside the state as well, and that is how you will grow as a business. So you should not just see opportunities here, you should look beyond, you should see opportunities everywhere. And that is how you can grow your this business. So I hope you have answered. So I think I have answered all the questions being asked here. For those who have just joined, we have 10 more minutes of this stream, and if there are more viewers, then we'll continue. But I think I have answered most of the questions. So if there are any more questions, please comment so that I can take it up. And the idea of it's very I'm really happy that all of you have come and expressed, and I'm sure there are many questions. So one common thing which I have seen is that we seldom ask the questions whenever I interact with students in classes in colleges. So they will never ask the questions. They are afraid what others will think. The first advice I want to give everyone: you just forget this thing. I mean, this fear. Take out this fear of public speaking and throw it out. You have to just ask these questions, because if you don't, they will pile up inside you, and then later it becomes really very, very difficult. So I am happy that all of you have come here and asked your questions, and I'm really happy that I can answer your questions, and I'll continue to do so. So it is not the only stream, and whenever I get time on holidays, and I will notify on the previous couple of days before about the stream. So please join and hit the bell icon so that you get the updates of the new this thing streams. So there is a question, so let's take up this question from Emba. Why is it that there are very few IPS and IS officers from Khasi and Garo community? Sir, this is because of our mentality. So nothing about, it's not about I don't know what you mean by mentality, but the reason is where basically you see the if you see the UPSC exam and the vastness of it and the kind of competition which is there, roughly about 25 to 30 lakh people will give the exam every year, and the IS IPSCs will be not more than 300. So you can see the competition which is there. And one of the main reasons is obviously in terms of education we are doing bad. If you follow up with the Acer survey, we are at the bottom. Meghalaya is the bottom. And so if the basics, the fundamental of education are not well established, then clearing any exam will be difficult. And in UPSC, the fundamentals, the value is immense. And basically my analysis would be, what I think is that we need fundamental changes in the education, and we need a lot of restructuring in what is being taught, and we have to realign and the syllabus and the approach of teaching and everything to these entrance exams, because ultimately all these entrance exam, we have to be at the same competitive level with other states which are now way ahead, right? Because when you are writing UPSC, you're not only competing with your counterparts in Meghalaya, you are competing with everyone. So if they have their standards are increasing, we have to increase our standard as well. So we have to reach the national level standard when it comes to basic these logical reasoning and understanding and everything. So there's nothing about mentality. I think we need fundamental changes in the education, and of course now confidence is also one of the thing which is missing. So that I have talked about this a lot. Confidence, many people just give up before even attempting this exam, and they feel it's too difficult and it's impossible. And I think the last time it was in 2013 when we got one IS from the state. So after that, now almost 10 years, there has been none. But I'm sure there are many people who can do this. It is just a matter of confidence and hard work. If you do that for a couple of years, we can totally make it possible. And but yeah, I'll be really really happy so to see IS officers, IPS officers coming from Meghalaya. And we basically, why am I doing all these things? So one of the things is this only, to push for this, so that youth get the confidence to appear in these kind of exams. And hopefully in the future we will have, to sum it up, I think it's mostly about confidence. Please have confidence. To those who are watching, the aspirants, UPSC aspirants, it is nothing but basically pure hard work for 2 years. And if you can do that, anyone can clear this exam. It is nothing to do with whatever has happened. But now if you basically you want to do it, definitely go ahead. And everything is there, all the resources are available on the internet. You can do self preparation and you can crack the exam. So I hope I have answered your question. There are some more questions. Let's quickly go through it. Pankaj Sharma is asking, I want to improve communication skill. How can it be done? By communicating. Yes, it's as simple as that. If you want to increase any skill, you have to practice, practice, practice. So there's no other way. If you want to learn English, start speaking in English, start reading English, start writing English, everything. It's that simple. And most of the things in life are that simple only, but we complicate things. So Pankaj, please speak and communicate, and resolve to communicate in English only if you are talking about English skills. So any skill can be bettered by just practicing it. So there is no magic wand. Judah, you are okay. Another question, sir. One question. Did you crack UPSC in your own language? No, no. Since all my education was in English, so my language, preferred language of writing was English. Can help in UPSC. There is a question by Dev Das, which BALLB. Achha, BALLB can help in UPSC. See, there are, you can take any optional in UPSC. There are so many optionals, and literally all graduation subjects are optionals. It is, of course, BALLB, the knowledge of law greatly helps. Yes, that is true. But then. Yeah, I mean, you can clear the exam with any optional, so don't worry about that. If you love law, if you really love law, then take this optional and go with it. Next question by driver truck. We people do not trust government exams. Okay. See, I mean, this is a kind of a little off the charts, but attempts are being made to improve in the past whatever perceptions has been made. And we will basically, attempts are being made to make it as transparent, as fast, and everything, with all the answer keys being questions being uploaded on the website. So everything is being done. And yeah, I think things are getting better. I think we should have a positive approach in life. Everything improves a bit. And we should, rather than just being being a critic, we should do something about it, and we should try to improve things. So thank you for your comment, driver truck. And now next question, how do we manage time for studies and job at the same time? This is basically a famous question. See, time, you cannot manage time. Okay, so time is something which goes on, and you cannot stop it, you cannot slow it, you cannot bend it. At least for now, you cannot do it. So what you can do it, manage yourself. So forget time. Time will continue. Time will go on. You cannot manage. So manage yourself and have a schedule. In fact, there is a time management video also on my YouTube channel, so please go and watch that. It is not a very rocket science thing. You can basically have a good schedule and go after. Just basically you have to earmark time. Like, for your job, this is the time. For your studies, morning 4 hours, evening 2 hours. And if you can follow it rigorously, that schedule, that will help. Next question, can you suggest best universities for MCom in our state, which is also yeah, so this is something I am not from the field, so I would suggest come CH Marak to those who are from that field, those who have done, they will be perhaps in a better condition to answer. Again, best UPSC coaching, but there is no best. Most, I mean, if you frankly ask me, I would go for in these days, when all the resources are available on the basically UPSC preparation, you can definitely do self preparation, and everything is available. I mean, from papers, from analysis, these toppers have done uploaded their videos, and there's so much of content on YouTube itself. I mean, forget these. Of course, there are paid memberships in other places, but then YouTube itself has so much of content that you need not go elsewhere. So best, if you want to join coaching, literally, you can literally join anyone, and for me it's a 80-20. 80% of the work you will have to do, 20% of the whatever data and guidance you will get, that you can anyway get in the internet. So for me, I think the best approach now with all the content available is to go with the self preparation. Okay, so ethics, yes. Solomon, yes. I mean, I will do that. Basically, a detailed video on ethics. How to revision while preparing for UPSC. So I have mentioned this, that how to prepare short notes. So there is a video on my channel, so please watch that. How to do basically revision, it will help you. And then one more question, last, I think, because we have crossed 1 hour. So we'll stop, everyone. So I'll just take the questions which are there, and we'll end the stream. There is only one commerce college in William Nagar, but I want to request you, sir, make available commerce in government college also. Okay. I mean, we will look into this, and whether we can do that, expand that. That's something we can take it up. Thank you for your suggestion. Okay, so one last question. From where we can get MPS and MCS previous question mains? Okay, so for 2021, I have uploaded everything on my blog, which is geniespeaks.blogspot.com. I will leave the link in the description also. Unfortunately, there haven't been many MCS exams. So the last one 2021, and then the last one was 10 years back. So it's very difficult to get those papers, but I will also try, and I will upload it on my blog, and I will share the links. But for 2021, it's already there, and the link you can get on my channel. Yeah, so I think it has been very fruitful session, and thank you for all the questions. I can do it more often if there is a continued requirement, and if you say that I will continue to do these kind of streams once in a while, maybe once in 2 weeks or once in a month, and all your questions can be answered. But other than that also, I mean, I will be uploading various videos which will help in this career counseling angle on my channel. So please share these with your fellow mates and everyone. And yeah, those questions which I have not answered in the stream, please leave as a comment so that I will answer later. But then I don't want to make it a long stream. So let's end it here. Thank you for everyone who joined today, and I think nearly 240 to 50 people have joined, so that's great. And yeah, I think I have answered most of the questions, and we will continue to do these kind of streams. And start now. Last advice for today is start thinking what you really want to do, and without wasting any time, find out what you want to do, and then then find out how that is to be done and what needs to be done. So hopefully this has been useful. Use your time wisely when you are in your youth. You have limited time, and use it to make a good career. I wish everyone that your professional basically whatever success you want will be yours, but for that hard work is to be done. So yes, let's end this stream today, and thank you for watching, and see you in the next stream. Thank you.